Now, introducing the Network Administration class of October 2008. First, he needs no introduction because he's doing the introduction. Handsome Aaron Taylor. For 4 months, she miraculously put up with being the only woman in a class full of boys. The first lady, Aaron Shaver. He beat Guitar Hero on Expert using a real guitar. Kelly, Mr. Clean Cut. He does tattoos for free if you'll just be his guinea pig. Mike Big Daddy Cool Jones. Hot dogs. He once landed a paper wad in the trash can from over 50 feet away. Richard the Baller Olaza. His motto is, why do it by hand when the computer can do it for you? That's right, the computer can do it for you. Troy, the scripter. Hey, good.
Hi everybody, my name is Richard and I'm the IT manager for Lake Hattie. Alongside me is my colleague Mike and he's the IT manager for Elk Island. For those of you that don't already know, our companies are in the business of manufacturing and selling sporting goods. We currently have 12 retail stores all across the US and we're currently expanding. Now our 2 teams of highly trained IT professionals were assigned the task of designing, implementing, and testing a network infrastructure. Now, we were assigned requirements. Now, we did have an internet presence already in place, and that was LakeHattieSports.com and EISportswear.com. We wanted to keep a private internal namespace, so we created 2 non-public forest names.
Basically, we created a non-public forest domains for Lake Hattie Sports called LHS.local, and for Elk Island, we created EIS.local.
Now, due to NAFTA concerns under the new U.S. president, we had to keep the 2 forests separate and keep their data separate.
So what we did there is we created a forest for Lake Hattie and a forest for Elk Island so that each corporation can maintain their own data as well as, probably to help with these concerns with NAFTA.
Now, each domain had to be able to access each other's resources, so we had to create a trust.
By doing that, we raised the domain function in both domains to Windows 2003. We raised both domains force function, and we allowed 2-way force trust between the domains.
Now, our web and email services are hosted by third-party companies, so we had no need to use our external namespace for internal use.
And by doing that, we used, in the DNS console, we used conditional forwarder to resolve host names for each other's domain, and we used standard forwarder to resolve the host names for the internet.
And that was through we used our ISP's DNS servers to resolve stuff for the internet.
Shipping. For our shipping and retail stores, for them to be able to talk to the corporations, corporate stores, we set up VPN connections to access resources to the corporate offices. And on the VPN type, we set up automatic to allow for VPN connections with legacy systems.
For the 2 domains, we needed to have password policies set up. So in password policy, or in group policy management console, we created 2 policies. One for the shipping department, which was a had to have 8 characters for the Unix servers. And then the other policy, the corporate offices wanted to have longer passwords, so we created a policy just for everybody else. So we basically had a policy for the shipping, and we had a policy for both domains. And we did that through policy.
We had some non-WINS clients in the shipping offices that could not resolve host names, so we set up a WINS proxy at the shipping locations and pointed towards the WINS server at Lake Hattie corporate offices to allow for the non-WINS clients to resolve NetBIOS names.
Part of the requirements was to have, Lake Hattie was to have 3 servers, and Elk Island was to have 3 servers. And Windows 2003 server was installed in all 3 of them with Active Directory, and for access for remote employees, sales, and for telecommuters, RRAS was installed along with Virtual Private Network, or VPN. Along with those requirements, each of the 3 servers had to have 3. The routers had to have for each had to have 3 NIC cards, 1 for Virtual Private Network, 1 for network address and translation, and 1 for the internal network only. And we set up each of the stores, since they were going to use VPN to get in, we set them up with a DSL connection.